You know what? Ohana means family. And do you know what
Thank
bears
you.
do? They stick together.
And bears always stick together.
Bears always stick together,
And
okay?
gamma is a type of ray.
When I see GB, I actually think of Ghost Bear Legacy.
When I think
From
of
Mech
GB,
Warrior
I think
2?
Green Bay. Am I wrong to think that?
Green
Is
Bay.
that how they like list out the Packers on a football compact screen, like on a score screen? It always says GB, right? Yeah. That's what
Man,
I
I respect
think.
football.
Man, Sen plays for the Packers. Not bad.
I respect football a lot, but you know, recently in the coming years, I've actually been introduced a little bit to rugby, and man, that is a beautiful sport to watch. You don't think so?
Man, like it's beautiful is not the word I would describe it. It's like a handsome sport, you know, like it's very manly. Yeah.
It is, but the
It's
plays
just
that you see from there are so ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're so cool.
I think it's finesse, and in the same way hockey can be like that too, because like it can be very rough, but there's moments where it's just there's sheer brilliance in someone's execution of how they're able to do something. I'm coming around on rugby. It's nice. My friend plays rugby. She's like a big she's like the manager of the rugby team on the University of Utah, and apparently they're really good. So
Utah
she
rugby.
convinces me that they're very good, so I'll believe her. Yeah, is that true? Clutch? Is that? Oh, that's true. Yeah, they have a sick rugby team. See. Now let's go ahead and introduce our players on.
All right.
In
Top
the top left. Take it away, man.
No, you take it away.
In the top left, we have from Team Liquid. It is Zenio. His teammate fell in the previous match we just saw, another Zerg from Liquid, but maybe he can be the Liquid Zerg that advances.
But thankfully, his teammate also won
All right.
the last match.
So it's like good and bad omens at the same time. So it's like a neutral omen.
It cancels it out.
Yeah.
So we're good.
It's just a regular omen. In the bottom right, we have from Team Gamania, also known as the Gamma Bears, it's Sen from Taiwan. 4th place at the BWC. The farthest advancing foreigner at a Blizzard event yet again. This guy is a beast. Always outperforms everyone, but never able to go all the way. But that's because he's facing Korean after Korean after Korean after Korean after Korean. And finally, someone's able to stop him. It was Parting.
Frodan, I feel cheated, by the way. Parting said he would actually give us
The
his secrets.
Yeah, he did.
Barely.
Did you see what I wrote on Twitter?
No, what did you write?
We asked him right afterwards. We basically, Parting had to do like 3 interviews. He had to do a Chinese one for media, he had to do a Korean one, and he finally got to the English one. And immediately Monk, quick shout out to him, by the way. He writes awesome guides on Team Liquid.
And he asked great questions.
He did. He did. He asked. He's a brilliant interviewer. Very critical mind about StarCraft 2. He loves watching the game. Great analyst too. Monk asked him, you know, what was your secret to the 1-1-1 build? You know, the Parting Sentry Immortal all in. And after like, you know, thinking about it, he answered. Parting said, well, the secret is that there is no big secret. I just have a better build order. I position better. I have the best Warp Prism control. And from there, I'm like, I can't argue.
It was better micro.
Yeah,
it's not a secret.
It's not really a secret at all. Everyone knows
secretive about that.
I think $100,000 knows it too.
Touche, Frodan.
Yeah.
Touche. Already we see a little bit of a deviation. Zenio going ahead, getting a Baneling Nest. Do we have one from Sen? No. What does that mean normally? It means he's going to have a lot more Zerglings out in the field. You need to have Zerglings out in the field to really pressure your opponent and make them kind of not go down that road of being aggressive. You can keep your opponent inside their base and really know they're going defensive Banelings. You don't actually have to make a Baneling Nest. Now that's at the expense of a little bit of economy in the early stages, but if you actually play it out right, you can actually put so much pressure that they overmake Zerglings, and then you can get ahead in that drone count.
And I think Sen would really like to gear up for Mutas. He loves Mutas in ZVZ. Almost to a fault sometimes because it becomes a little bit predictable. But Sen played ZVZ brilliantly also at BWC. Now the Zerglings from Zenio do get in, but he sees no Spine Crawler, sees no immediate tech at the natural, like no Evo Chambers, no nothing.
Yeah.
And that's going to alarm Zenio. He's like, well, wait, he's being greedy somewhere. Like, he has nothing.
That's correct. He's actually really worried, or at least he should be really worried in this position, because he's saying to himself, my opponent probably has a faster lair, or at least he has the range to have a faster lair. It can also be a huge roach all-in that could be coming up, so he needs to be careful about that as well. Spire is going to go down, as you said, Frodan. Sen loves to go Spire tech, and he will be looking to actually take a third base along with this.
Yeah, control the map, deny vision via the overlords. And just generally be a little bit behind, but be up in the production. Great call, Andre. Third base is on the way. Sen has really nailed down the 7 to 8 Muta transition into Infestor Roach and be able to defend any kind of counter pressure while denying his opponent's base. That'll be the name of the game. Zenio, of course, we all know him as a Roach-based player. This is the map where we saw the NASL Classics that Day 9 actually had, which is a subscriber exclusive. You guys can pick up the pass, by the way, for $15.99. Or $12.99 if you use season4_Frodan.
Or NASL S4_Gretorp. Real quick, though, Zenio should actually realize that this is going to mute us. It doesn't make sense for him to go roaches, or Sen to go roaches and take a third base like this. Does it make sense to go Zergling, Baneling? Yes, maybe, but you didn't see early Banelings. You have to be very wary of something. What are you doing with your gas? Probably going to be, something like Mutas. Now, that was a great Baneling hit. Unfortunately, Sen gets the brunt end of that. He will not be able to take out this third base, but this is a full 50 seconds he has on his opponent with that lair tech, Frodan. That is gigantic.
Yep. You're dead on the money, Andre. Now, Sen, of course, still inking out some Banelings, trying to make sure he's safe against any of the Zerglings. But Zenio also has some Roach pressure coming in. And Sen does have his first Mutas on the way, so in the end, this pressure will get shut down. Zenio not able to force anything on the third. Does end up losing the Roaches, although Zenio still putting on lots of pressure. In fact, the Banes are rolling in very aggressively. Still wants to do some kind of damage, but Sen's really stabilized here.
Won't do anything, and this is perfect. Now, if I'm Sen in this position, I'm actually not making any more Mutas. And as you can see, he's actually journeying up from here. He still has the capacity to make more Mutas, but you know your third's so far ahead of your opponent. The Spore Crawlers will be going up en masse. The Queens will be coming up as well. That's enough damage to be done to really delay this third base from doing anything. Get your Infestor tech, get your Roaches out, and just be able to take complete map control. Your opponent has no capabilities of making perfect decisions. You do. Just take that home. And from here, I wouldn't mind just seeing Roaches and Infestors. That's it. And then just make sure your opponent cannot take a third base.
Wow, Zenio's anti-air is very limited. He's got 3 Queens and a Spore at the third base, while Mutas are still picking off drones very comfortably. Sen, of course, he does have his Infestor tech about done. Oh, just kidding. I was looking at Zenio's production tab. Zenio's got Infestors pretty much done, and he's getting a very early Hydralisk then. This is in response, of course, to the Mutas.
Yeah. He's forced to do some sort of timing here. Killing 2 Overseers now. Wow, that is brutal. You really want to keep those Overseers alive just because of the Changelings. And, of course, in certain situations, you can actually use that contamination, which is so important. But as it stands right now, Gamma Bear Sen up 40 supply. 40 supply already 12 minutes into this game. He has the better builder, the better defense, and now he's going to take that home probably for a win. Of course, there can be upsets, and there can be comebacks here as Infestors, defensive Infestors, are just so very powerful.
Sen doing a good job, also just not getting too greedy with the Mutas, darting in just a little bit at a time, sending 3 Mutas at once just to test the water, see where Zenio's Infestors are. Are they out? How many does he have? Does he have any, in fact? Zenio still keeping all of his Infestors out into the natural, trying to move in. Sen balling it up, but he will get out. Very nicely done, while he's able to mass up his own Roach count. Now, his upgrades are pretty far behind, but he's just got so much supply. Look at it.
Oh my
180 to 110. Now 120. Good lord.
And he's going to dart the Mutas forward, making sure that those Infestors aren't getting the best possible position. So that way he can actually micro his Roaches to not really take a lot of fungal growth damage.
Andre, last time the guys met, it was close on Ohana, but I don't think this is going to be close at all.
Beautifully done, darting forward, making those Infestors really, really difficult to actually push out here.
Oh, contamination on the third. Wow, Sen just doing everything he wants to. GG.
Aw.
And Zenio taps out. Sen takes game number 1 in dominating fashion.
Beautiful build.
My goodness.
I mean, that's how you punish, or you can punish defensive banelings, especially with Zenio not really checking early enough to see what his opponent was going. Having all those Zerglings on the map, it really establishes map control, which makes it a lot harder to move across the map, especially when you have banelings formed up all the way across the field. That's a very long walk. You have spine crawlers, you have queens. There's a lot you can do. That's why sometimes in ZVZ, it's better to be a little bit more aggressive than to always stay super defensive, because those banelings, it actually put the lair 50 seconds behind Sen's lair.
That's right. And as a result, Sen had an overwhelming advantage, ran it all the way.
That's right.
Simply just roach, but it's too many
It was
roaches for him to handle.
The easiest thing ever. Muted pop out, spores, and queens in mass, right?
Yeah.
That's all you're going to see. It delays the 5th and 6th gas. It delays a lot of production.
Zenio
from
teched like crazy too. Getting infestors, pathogen glands, Hydralus Den.
You can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, it's just too gas intensive at that mid-game stage.
That's right. Clutch, what did you think about that ZVZ?
You know, it's textbook. It was textbook ZVZ in favor of Sen. It almost makes you want to switch over to rooting for Sen, but I'll still stick with the underdog Zenio in that matchup. You know, especially on Ohana, seeing that Muta playstyle. I loved how Sen didn't fully commit the Mutas. He didn't like, I'm going to kill as much as I can and that's fine. It's like, no, I'm going to poke around, see what's there, move back, and use them later in the fight. It was very textbook. And he did very well. And I know you guys brought up Bill O'Reilly earlier, and the one thing that Bill O'Reilly does well is he does it live. And if you guys want to see these matches live, come to our finals. December 8th and 9th in Long Beach, California. You guys can get your tickets, nasl.tv/p/S4 finals. It's going to be a blast, and hopefully one of these players is going to make it to the top 8. We'll see.
Clutch, if this was PG-13, I'd use my one F-bomb right here for that Bill O'Reilly statement. But it's not PG-13.
That's not PG-13. No, this is PG-13. This broadcast, try to keep it that way.
That's right.
But you know, Twitch, one of our broadcasting partners here, they help make esports a possibility, and we keep it clean for Twitch because we have a bigger audience, a better audience, an audience that caters to the family. And what better way to spend time with your family than to eat Thanksgiving tomorrow and watch us, because we're going to be live. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, Twitch. Couldn't do it without you.
Thank you, Clutch. Couldn't have done it without you either. We'll be back with game number 2 between Sen versus Zenio. The rivalry continues after this break.